Hello. Welcome back to the living room tea, the Tara Mac, where we drink tea and we spit tea. Let's see what we have for tea today. Today we have a little lavender chamomile tea and some passion flower because right now it is literally 11:45 at night because oh, do you like my teapot, by the way? Yeah. This is an incredible teapot as well because it makes this sound. It's like a chime. Look how beautiful it is. Can you see how gorgeous this teapot is? It's so pretty. And I got this teapot in Joshua Tree on my very first self vacation that my business paid for. And I went to Joshua Tree. And this was like, I guess I'm just gonna spend money on myself. My account was like, it's fine. We talked about that last week. Anyways, I got that teapot there at this beautiful little herbalist shop, and my friend made me this very tiny, perfect teacup. Um, lavender, no. Yeah, lavender, chamomile, passion flower. Passion flower is an amazing herb. It's a really great herb to smoke as well. Everyone's like all over like lavender chamomile. Everyone gets that, that as it's like a relaxing type of tea. Passion flower for me, transformative to my nerves. And passion flower, all of those herbs, passion flower, lavender, valerian, chamomile, lemon balm, astragalus, skullcap, all of these different herbs are nervines. But for me, passion flower is my favorite. Don't tell the rest. Mm. And I took a little melatonin that also has passion flower in it. It's this company called Neurogum or whatever, and they have like common clear mints, which have some other herbal things in it, and some other like L-theanine and like B12 or something. And then there's this amazing mint, no, gum that is for focus and energy, and it has like 100 milligrams of natural caffeine in it, L-theanine, B12, and something else. But they have melatonin things as well that work really well. The reason I took one is because I drank a coffee a little bit too late in the day. I don't really drink that much coffee, but I love her when I do drink coffee. And so we needed to take a little melatonin to put my ass to sleep. But after I got out of the shower, I felt my intuition was like, you should get on and record an episode of Living Room Tea because today is Thursday and tomorrow is Friday, and I'm going to this amazing festival in New Hampshire called Forest and Village, which is like 300 women on the earth camping, grieving, dancing, singing, fire dancing, all of the things, tending the fire, temazcal. We've got saunas, we've got rivers, we've got multiple temples where everyone is, performing seva. We've got everything. It's all happening this weekend. So I'm not gonna be here tomorrow. And so I was like, I really want to keep on my shit and record one of these a week. And this day just got away from me. And now it's so late. I was up late packing, had a little coffee, took a little shower, did my hair, and I, got out of the shower and blow dried my hair. This is the very first year I bought a blow dryer and didn't own a blow dryer until 2025. I bought a blow dryer this year because my hairdresser was like, here's a bunch of things that's gonna save your hair. You need to get a blow dryer because it like activates it with the heat. And I was like, okay, I trust you. I surrender. There's been a lot of surrender codes coming up lately, like a lot of surrender codes. For example, yesterday I was awoken by a dream of me doing an interpretive dance. Or maybe I was watching someone do an interpretive dance, but it feels silly in my body, like even just thinking about that. But I woke up, like, kind of chuckling because it feels like right now in my life, I'm doing an interpretive dance, and you know when like, interpretive you know what interpretive dance is, like, people are just, like, doing whatever, and it's just, like, interpret the wind, and so interpret the sea, whatever, right? And interpret life, interpret what's moving through your body, interpret spirit, interpret whatever. And those dances tend to look very chaotic, we'll say. But yet they are still an art, capiche? And so I woke up because I just was like chuckling at this interpretive dance and the fact that like I'm doing an interpretive dance in my life right now, like not sure what I'm doing, but also very sure of what I'm doing. The paths are diverging. It seems that every possible opportunity, and I'm constantly being like directed down a new one each time, and I'm feeling a little bit disoriented in the way that I'm moving right now in my life, which is good. Things are moving, but it's also very like, say what? I'm like, it's like there's so many things. And so like I feel like my brain has never been louder in my life. Like I feel like the stimuli is at an all-time high. And I think that a lot of people can say the same thing for themselves. And so when I witnessed myself in my dream doing this interpretive dance the other day, just was like, right, like one of my favorite quotes ever that I ended the last episode with was, "You either do it like it's a great weight on you, or you do it like it's part of the dance." It's a Ram Dass quote. I would get it tattooed on me. I'm not sure if I will get it tattooed on me. It's a contender, but that's the T. That's a T. Either you do it like it's a big weight on you, or you do it like a fucking interpretive dance, and it doesn't have to look good, okay? Because it's all fucking art. It's all art, and it's your expression. And so, like, can we just please be with it and present with it and let it come through us? Oh, and like, we have to imagine, like, a tree and nature and plants and um what do they do with wind? They let it through. The book I was reading the other day, a Chinese master showed up in the guy's dream, the author's dream, and he pled to the guy, please tell me how to block the fear, tell me how to block the fear. And the Chinese master said, how does the tree block the wind? And then the Chinese master disappeared. And the guy was like, duh. Like you let it through. You let it through you. And the trees are all doing interpretive dances as well. And so it's like we have to be reminded all the time that this is just a dance. It's not so serious. Can we be kind to ourselves? Can we seek out the resources that we need? Can we seek out the nourishment? Can we seek out the nurturance? Like, can we lean on the people who we really love and love us back? Um, those are all the things. And so when that is in the forefront of your mind, maybe you're just doing an interpretive dance. Speaking of a person or a thing or a being that was doing an interpretive dance the other day, the grasshopper that rode on my head while I was walking the beach. So I'm just walking the beach and I look down and there's like a literal grasshopper like right at the shoreline, like right where the water comes in. And I'm like, hello. And so I put my hand down because I'm like, you want to ride? Like, what's happening here? Why are you way down here? You should be in like a garden. I got plenty of gardens. You want to come to my garden? And that's where I was going to take him. If he wanted to stay on my head the whole time, I would have taken him to, well, the head is a different story. We're going to get to that. If I wanted to just give him a ride and bring him to my garden if he wanted to go there. And so he climbs up onto my hand. And as I'm walking the beach, um, the sun is rising and everything is so gorgeous. And I have like this little grasshopper friend with me. And he's climbing up my arms, climbing up my arms, climbing up my arms. And every time he gets to my shoulder, I'm like, okay. And I take him and I put him on the other side. And then what does he do? He climbs up my arms, climbs up my arms, climbs up my arms until he gets to my shoulder. And I'm like, okay, move him on to my other side. And then it kept happening back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And I was like, dude, why don't you just chill in my hand? Like, why don't you just chill like down there, you know? And like I said, I feel like I'm doing this interpretive dance in my life. And so it's kind of uncomfortable, right? And I'm being like, I'm not sure how I'm being witnessed and how I'm being seen, how I'm being observed. And everything is very new. And I feel like a newborn baby because when you evolve at the speed of light, oftentimes you just feel like a newborn baby as you try to approach new things in your life. And so I'm like, I don't like this, you know, like I'm like it's very awkward and weird and like such is life. But and so I'm feeling very uncomfortable. And so then the thought was, okay, well, you just don't want him to get up on your neck. You don't want him to crawl on your neck because that's gonna like wig you out. And I'm like, no, I do not want him to crawl on my neck. That's gonna be terrible. Like perceived threat 100. You know, like I don't want this fucking bug crawling on my neck. But like that was the invitation, you know, like that was the invitation from spirit. And I'm like, ah, and I'm like, okay, 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 okay. So I was like, no, 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 I don't have to do that. I don't have to do that. I don't have to do that. I don't have to do that if I don't want to do that. And it just kept coming up. And I'm like, okay, fine. And so this dude, this grasshopper kept trying to climb up my arms. And I finally just let him climb. And he starts climbing on my fucking neck. And I'm like, "Ew." But I'm like breathing and he's climbing up my neck. And this dude literally just climbs up onto my head, like the grasshopper. In my head, like I said, like there's so much pressure in my head, like at this time in my life. And so I'm like, grasshopper, are you like a blessing in disguise? Should we look up right now what um like the significance of a grasshopper is? Because that's what I'm kind of interested in. And like the grasshopper, he just kept wanting to like be on the top of my head. And this dude's literally cooling up there. Like he's chilling. Meet spirit. Let's do. Oh wait, we should talk to ChatGPT about it. Google is useless at this point. Where's ChatGPT on my iPad? Here it is. Okay, spiritual meaning of grasshopper. Let's see what it says. Taking a leap of faith. Taking a leap of faith. Okay, divine timing and alignment. Listening to inner voice. Unpredictable momentum. Oh, evolution and rebirth. Final message. If a grasshopper shows up in your path, ask, what leap am I being asked to take? Am I waiting for certainty when what's needed is trust? Okay. Where is my body already sensing what my mind won't admit? We're going to talk about all these things. I just looked that up, by the way. I'm like, thank you, ChatGPT. I like to sometimes say Chachi, like Chachi, Chachi, like ChatGPT. It kind of sounds like Chachi. And like, I'm like, yo, Chachi, my little like Brazilian assistant or something like Chachi, dime. And so those are good questions. Dímelo. Where is my body already sensing what my mind won't admit? That discomfort is essential. Ugh, right? And so like letting the fucking grasshopper literally climb up on my neck. And it happened a few times because he like came down and I'm like, okay, do it again. And then it got to a point on the third time where he just like could not. I was getting sweaty at this point because it's like 80 degrees at 9 a.m. now. I'm like, um, I'm walking the beach, I'm all hot in the sun. And he's like getting stuck on my sweat on my neck. And I literally, after like a minute and a half of him just trying to like get up my neck, I was like, all right, you know what? I'm just gonna play God right now. Here you go. And put him up on my head. And I just was really grateful that I had a little friend, and then I got all the way back to where I live on the beach. I live like 300 feet from the beach. And I went to put him down on my shirt before I jumped in the water and he was gone. And I was like, and I felt like I had felt him up there on my head the whole time up until the last second. And so I'm like feeling like all around. I'm like, where is my grasshopper? Where's my grasshopper? And he had moved along, apparently. The work was done, we'll say. And I'm grateful for him because perceived threat is always going to be worse than actual threat. Like when I am up against a challenge and my body just is like, no, and my mind is like, no, no, I'm not doing this. This is going to be so hard. It's going to be so difficult. The first thing I say, if I can catch myself, which is often, is how easy this can be actually. Let me just shift my awareness into like a possibility, an opportunity, curiosity, rather than trying to predict the future that is completely unknown. I don't have that ability. I'm a psychic, but I'm not like gonna be able to tell you every detail of the future. No prolific psychic of all time, best psychic in the world, can predict every single detail of the future. So might as well just fucking stay present. Oh. So what that question, after I just looked up, like what up with grasshopper, that question says, where is my body already sensing what my mind won't admit? And what it is that like I feel like I need to put down selling shit like on the internet. I have an amazing, super successful business in real life. Um, I'm about to cross $1 million within like the next year or two. I mean, I feel like things are fine, in the world of like me making money. Like I feel like I kind of figured out how to make money. I would like to figure out how to make more money for everyone else in the world, but um what I'm most being called to do right now is just share and be intimate with my process and be able to share about that process because the thing about me is that I want to live unrelentingly close to life. When I was in Maine, like last fall, I had this like awful repressed memory come up, and I'm not even going to talk about that. We'll talk about that another time. But, and then I was able to like move past that a little bit. And like finally, like the mushrooms kind of like kicked in a little bit more. I got to the part of the trip where you like play dress up and like dance around to Stevie Nicks. Thank God. Rather than being fucking deboweled by a repressed memory. Like, okay, okay, okay. Stop bullying me, mushrooms, and let me have fucking fun. You have to get it's the good with the bad, right? And a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And so that's the trade. And so then I started like having fun. I put a little music on, had a little snack, put a little outfit on, and I felt so alive, like I was feeling so alive. The wood stove was burning, all the leaves were falling off of the trees, the air was very crisp, the sun was out, and it was a perfect fall day, like right before Samhain. And I just declared to life right there in that, to spirit, to myself, to my ancestors, whoever, that like I am interested in living unrelentingly close to life. That's my vow. Okay. My vow is to live unrelentingly close to life. And that means letting a fucking grasshopper climb on your neck at some point when you're walking the beach because God told you to. I don't know. That's just what happened. So that's what I did. And like, it was profound. And I have like a pretty strong, like Pluto squares my moon. I have a Pisces moon. And Pluto is always like, every day is the most transformational day of your life emotionally. And I'm like, okay. And so like I have the potential to be transformed by like any single thing that affects me. And basically, when you are intimate with life, everything affects you in a way of mentorship where we are being students, disciples of life. And like, I don't want to really do anything else other than to be a fucking student of life. I want to be a good student of life too. And being a good student of life means that like you let the grasshopper climb on your neck to just do a experiment. It's like, okay, like, okay, I will be the subject of this experiment. Grasshopper, I consent, do your thing. And then he does it, and you're like, that wasn't bad at all. And now I have a grasshopper climbing on he's on my head. He's riding on my head. Cool. So what I actually love the most about like putting down the selling thing is I get to like be myself a little bit more. And I feel like when I'm myself is actually when I like make the most money. I'm a generator in human design, and like I just like want to like be with you. You know what I mean? Like I want to be with you. I want you to be in my living room. I want us to drink tea together. I want us to just like laugh and like be silly, and like everyone on the internet is like, don't make your personal brand your online diary. But like I'm gonna do what I want. I'm gonna do what I want. This is what I want. I want to do this. This is more fun to me. This is hilarious to me. And like I feel high right now, and I'm not even remotely high. I'm just like a little bit high on caffeine, I guess. But I took a melatonin, so now I'm like I feel like kind of in this lucid state between like caffeine and melatonin. Anyways, so let's see another question here because there was good questions that ChatGPT gave us that Chachi provided to us. Am I waiting for certainty when what's needed is trust? Ball or line, Chachi. Because duh, this is what our brain is designed to do. We are designed to seek out certainty first. Trust has been demanufactured from our consciousness. And so I was just talking to one of my friends and actually flower essence clients today about that exact thing of just like I'm being invited to trust in a way that I really have never been able to build relationship with. It's like usually like I'm like, okay, I'm doing this and that's what I'm doing. And these are the potential outcomes. I don't know what the outcome is here. I'm just like doing this. And people talk about that, but I don't really like know. I don't resonate. I never really resonate with what it is that they're saying, but I guess that's like potentially what I'm doing right now. It's like, oh, I'm just doing something because I feel called to do it. Like God is like, do this thing. And I keep asking and praying and saying, God, show me what to do and I'll do it. And then I'm like, well, I don't want to do that. It's like, well, you don't want the fucking grasshopper to climb on your neck either. But it's all about being uncomfortable, being comfortable in the discomfort, right? And want to do a little yin yoga. We love a discomfort. We love it because that means that you're on the edge. That means that you're expanding your fascia. That means that you're breathing new life and new oxygen into the places in your body that had not seen the light of day, your own acknowledgement, your own self compassion, your own self respect, and God knows how long. How else are you going to get in there without the discomfort? The discomfort is just the surface level stimuli that says, please breathe into me. Please breathe into me. Please build intimacy with me. Please get closer to me. It's your body, it's your inner landscape that's asking to be tended. How gorgeous is that? I have time for that. I have patience for that. If I had to think, okay, well, what would my higher self do? How would I respond to this? The version of me 10 years from now, how would I respond to my current experience that I'm having? She would love it. It's so cliche. It's like, okay, well, is love the answer to everything? Yeah. And you hate that when you're in that fucking that contraction, that constriction. It's like, I actually would prefer being miserable. Like one of my clients, I was actually at another one of my billionaire clients house yesterday. And I walked up to one of my employees and I was like, hey, I'm gonna go get a coffee. Do you want anything? And first of all, what I'm in love with right now is a hot Americano with a squirt of hazelnut and like the tiniest splash of whole milk or oat milk, because it's like literally the tiniest splash, doesn't even matter what type of milk it is. But I heard the other day that oat milk is like drinking a Coca-Cola. And one thing about a crunchy girl is she doesn't drink Coca-Cola. And so I'm like, oat milk is a scam. And I do feel like shit when I drink like an oat milk latte. I feel so inflamed. My skin is feeling like shit. My arthritis flares up. I feel bloated. I'm anxious. I feel like I'm having a fucking panic attack. Yet, when I drink an hot Americano with one squirt of hazelnut and a dabble of a little kiss of your milk of choice, I'm on a fucking rocket ship and I am ready to solve world hunger. I'm ready to save the world. I'm ready to just do everything on my list with a smile on my face. I have no symptoms whatsoever. And so, like, first of all, if you're having some type of something going on in your gut, in your mental health, check out how much oat milk you're drinking. Because I changed that around like 3 weeks ago or whatever. I think that I'm in withdrawal from oat milk, which is what happens with people who drink Coke because there's literally chemicals in it that make you fucking addicted to it. Hashtag evil, whatever. That's a different story. But I'm like, oat milk. Okay, I guess oat milk is the Antichrist, just like everything else. So I stopped drinking oat milk. But the fact of the matter is, I went up to my employee and I said, "Okay, do you want a coffee?" And she was like, "No, thanks." And then the guy who owns the house was on the porch and he was like, "Oh, do you want like a coffee? We have like a fancy like espresso machine. It can make you a cappuccino." And I just immediately was like, "No, thanks." And I was like, "What the fuck is wrong with me? Why don't you just say yes?" I'm like, "Well, because I don't want a cappuccino. First of all, I want an Americano." But he probably could have made me fucking Americano, just hot water and espresso. If he's got an espresso machine, he can make you an Americano, Taryn. But I was having an issue with receivership. And I was like, ooh, okay, I feel that. Thank you, sir. No, thank you. But I was like, whoa. And then later on that day, my friend, I was like, my head, it just, I have so much pressure in my head. And she's like, "Ooh, do you want me to give you some craniosacral therapy?" And I felt that same resistance again. And I just was like, I'm like, and then I named it. I'm like, I'm feeling this resistance to receiving, and I need to receive. That's all I want. I just want to surrender. And surrender, right, is a state of receivership. You're passive. You're moving into a passive state where, well, there's two different types of surrender. Surrender can be actionable as well. And it is. But like a passive state with the how. When you surrender, you say, fuck the how. I'm just going to do what God's telling me to do. And you have to do those things. Surrender is not a giving up. It's not a passive, like victimized state. Oh, I've surrendered. Like you throw the white flag on the field type of thing. It's like I surrender to what spirit is inviting me into, even if I don't understand how. And that's why I'm here. So I'm drinking tea on my couch, recording a YouTube video. And I'm just going to keep doing this because it's fun and I feel like it. But the fact of the matter is that receivership was so important to really acknowledge. And so, I was feeling uncomfortable. So, what do we do with these places in our bodies and our psyches and our consciousness that are uncomfortable? We breathe into them and we say, okay, I'm going to love you. I'm going to be intimate with you. I'm going to show you the presence and the acknowledgement that you deserve. And so I let Via give me craniosacral therapy, and it like literally solved all of my problems. The compassionate touch of someone who loves you and loves you back, or that you love and loves you back. Even someone who doesn't love you, getting a massage, highly recommend physical touch For my girlies who are uber fucking ambitious or uber ADHD or uber fucking mental, my Geminis, my Aquariuses, my Libra girls, we got a lot of airy stuff going on up there. Touch, compassionate touch brings you back into the earth element, which I actually heard today while I was reading a book. It's like if you have a fluffy cat or like a fluffy animal, like a pet that you really love, and that is influencing the earth element in your life because you're holding on to something that feels warm and cozy and like grounding, right? It's like that essence of the mother's womb. It's like you feel cozy, you want to just be in your little cave. That's influencing the earth element. And I'm like, whoa, like that's mad real because I was obsessed. I have my cat tattooed. Can you see him? This is Toby. Um, but I was a leech, or that cat was a leech to me, and I was a leech right back to him. Oh my God. I actually think, do you know that woman who had the like love affair with the pigeon? I think that I had a love affair with my cat. Like literally, I felt like I had an actual passionate like love affair with him, like from a very young age. And he like grew up with me and then he died when he was like 17 and I was 21. But I'm pretty sure that we were actually in a monogamous relationship. Sure. And like I would wake up to him like right here. And like it felt like we were like exchanging breath and stuff. I don't really understand what's going on right now, but what I can tell you is there's nothing that made me feel safer at that time in my life than that fucking cat. And very influential of the earth element over my energetic body. It's so important. And I'm like, I don't have a cat right now. I don't have any animals right now, but I live in the middle of nature and I'm constantly just like grounded. I'm a landscape designer. I'm always in nature. And so that's very grounding. And I've learned new ways to ground myself, like drinking tea and like just being present and exercising and walking the beach and doing all these other things. But what I love so much about that is you can influence your energetic body in so many different ways too. It's like, okay, well, you're feeling very hot or angry or um there's too many things to do or whatever, just like take a shower. Influence some water element. You know, you need some flow in your life. You need that flow back into your energy. Take a shower, drink some water. Or if you need that fire, go outside and sit in the sun. You need that fire in your life, go outside and sit in the sun. Or go watch the sunset. Or light yourself a little candle. Or eat like sun fruits or like citruses or oranges, like things like that influence the sun quality. Um, what do you do for air? Air is like, mm, I mean, literally just feeling the literal wind on your skin, helping to move new energy in, helping to start new beginnings, helping to allow that novelty to come back into your life is like really just like literally taking a deep breath in, like bringing you back into that present state is like, and we always get in there like that deep kapha of like nothing is working out for me. I'm so heavy, like I'm just completely just everything is wrong. What's the point, right? In that deep kaphic state, you take a deep breath, and all of a sudden you have some more wind in your sails. But we're just doing an interpretive dance. It's gonna be messy. It's going to be very messy. And can we enjoy it? I don't know. Um, I think that when you're in it, it's not very enjoyable. And it is important to feel it, right? It's like when we're in it, it's that essence of letting the wind through the trees, right? We have to let it through. And so you complain and you cry and you stomp your feet and you tell everyone that your life is ending and that nothing is working and that you're actually completely a fraud, right? You have to let it through. You have to like let that be true because it feels true in the moment. And you just like telling yourself that like these positive affirmations is just denying what feels true in the moment. And that's not being present. So how we be present with it? It's just like, okay, here's all of my things. Grasshopper. Here they are. I'm like, okay, thanks for telling me. You're like, yeah. It's like, is any of that true? They're like, it feels true, doesn't it? I'm like, it does. It feels true. We're supposed to feel it. Even if it isn't true, you still are allowed to feel it and process it and move it through your system. Helps it filter. But what I think is more important is to move closer to it, right? And so that intimacy is essentially the same. It's the same philosophy behind I want to live closely to life. Okay, well, living closely to life is living close to the grasshopper crawling on your neck, living close to your discomfort, living close to you feeling like a fraud, living close to letting all of the ugly shit through and like not holding back from it. And I was reading this book the other day called Surviving Storms by Mark Nepo. And he says, um, he was talking about he loves etymology, and I absolutely love etymology. And like, if you've ever been in any of my containers, like I talk about etymology, like all of them. Etymology of authority, love it. Etymology of discipline, which means to be a disciple of, so good. But the etymology behind appreciate is to move towards something precious. And so how do we move towards things that we don't immediately think are precious? Obviously, a cute little cat is precious. Obviously, a newborn baby is precious. Obviously, the sunrise is precious because we have the ability and the resources and the lived experience and like the societal norm that those things are good check to appreciate. So we have more gravitational pull towards appreciating the things that are easy to appreciate, right? A beautiful butterfly on a rose bush. You're like, ah, how beautiful is that? But what about the things that you don't have the playbook to know how to appreciate? What if you don't know how to appreciate a grasshopper crawling on your neck or riding on your head on the beach? Because no one's ever told you about that. It's been a complete unique happening to you on your path that has been presented for you to try to appreciate. And if we are consistently neglecting the things that are presenting to us, all the invitations that have been presented to us for us to try to appreciate in our own new way, we've lost the point of living close to life. If we're resisting, if we're holding a block up to the literal point of like, can we appreciate things that are not precious? Of course. Either you do it like it's a big weight on you, or you do it like it's part of the dance. I can appreciate an interpretive dance, even if it sucks. Who says? Maybe it's good to someone else. Maybe it's unlocking something for someone else, watching the technology of that person moving on stage, interpreting whatever it is that they're interpreting. We're all interpreting life in our own way. And so, can we be a little bit kinder to ourselves on this journey of making things precious? It might take longer than you'd like to admit, right? And this is the trust thing that comes in. It's like, well, that receivership and that surrender really comes in when things are taking longer than we'd like them to take. Okay, right? So how do we make it precious? How do we move closer to it? We feel the feelings about it. We don't ignore it, right? We don't ignore ourselves. We don't abandon the truth and what's present. we appreciate it. We move closer towards something that's precious. And you can choose what is precious. And the thing that I like a lot, okay, is the things that are really difficult in our life, like the trigger points, the discomforts, the new things that, somehow continuously bring up these old parts of ourselves that are still not yet alchemized. There's new layers, new levels to new devils, and all of this other stuff, right? And as you're discovering all of these new parts of yourself as you navigate your journey, it's interesting to find how you genuinely get to choose now what is precious and what you move closer to. Like, that's our duty as humans, is to just genuinely spend time with the things that we choose to make precious. And so over time, those negative emotions that felt so uncomfortable to feel become precious to us because they're now our great teachers, because we chose to be closer to them rather than to push them away. And like, the things that you spend the most time with are the most precious to you. Think about your parents, think about your cat, think about, the favorite spot that you love to go watch the sunset at. Like, these things are precious to you because you spend the most time with them. And so, why can't we alchemize all of the negative things that we spend a lot of time with too, as dearly precious confidants that do have some deep medicine for us, even if it's bitter medicine? And anyone who has done plant medicine or earth medicines know that the best medicine is bitter medicine, right? The most healing medicine is the bitter medicine. Like, I was 2.5 weeks over on my period this month, and I drank the most bitter fucking tea, and I got my bleed. I was resisting drinking. I was just drinking all this red clover and all this rue and all this pot arco, and like, I didn't actually like pull out the big guns. I don't even know what was in that one actually. What was in that I made? I made this concoction of there was probably like 10 different teas in there. And it was so bitter. There was like wormwood in there. I put like wormwood in there and mugwort and super bitter shit. Um, and it worked. And I'm like, well, the bitter tea, the bitter medicine, it always is, what you need, even if it's not what you want. And so how can we make those things precious? We move closer to them. We open our hearts to them. We continue to face our hearts to them. And we stop shaming ourselves for them just coming up. It's like, it's going to take as long as it takes. So are we going to be pissed and mad the whole time? Or can we like make it precious? Can we appreciate it? I think that I would rather appreciate it, preferably. Like, I feel like my personal preference would be to like appreciate it. That's the version of myself who's 10 years older than me. I think that she would have chosen to appreciate the things that are hard rather than brace herself against them, right? I don't know, just the thought. And so, yeah, I feel like I'm putting down this, um, selling things because I want to share and I want to trust. I want to do this new experiment where I'm like, okay, well, I tried this online coaching thing out. I'm not like not gonna do that. I do love the things that I teach in the space that I hold for the people who are in my spaces, who work with me one on one, who do my flower essence therapy, who are inside my online containers. But there's a new edge that's being presented of like, can you put that down and still be you? Can you put that down and still be proud of yourself for just sharing and putting a fun outfit on and some lipstick and some fun earrings and being on YouTube and just sharing about your life and like bestowing your codes on the people of the earth and anyone who's on YouTube watching? Like, yeah, like, I think that's fun. Like, why can't this be an experiment? Life is a psychedelic experiment. And so I'm like, I'm still marinating on it, you know? but something is happening. Like, I'm on the edge of something, and they're not telling me what it is, obviously, but I have to just be open and appreciate the part of the process that I'm currently in. What else am I gonna do? Be pissed? I was pissed, I'll tell you that. For the majority of all of July, I did get a breath of fresh air for my birthday though, which I was very grateful for. As you heard in the last episode, I had like the best birthday ever, never before seen. But this year, fucking nailed it on my birthday. And then I went right back into the fucking trenches of Saturn return, I guess. I'm like, damn, this is like first like fucking 3 months of my Saturn return. This is where we're at. But I also know that like the transformation is going to be so fucking amazing because this deep pain is always the breeding ground for something just fucking amazing. All of the grief that I've been feeling and grieving and processing about God knows what, it is carving space. And I'm fascinated by just how much more transformational life continues to get. I'm like, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what the actual fuck? Oh my God. And so, yeah, I heard a post the other day that said, I'm in between losing my mind and finding my soul. And so that's what I think is going on. And if you resonate, I'm with you because maybe we're just being tasked the invitation into appreciating the process of us losing our minds so we can find our soul. And I felt pretty aligned with my soul. I'll tell you that. I only do whatever I want every day. I mean, I live a very blessed life. For example, I took all of July off. I worked yesterday and today, which is the 30th and the 31st of July. And we made over $21,000 this month. Is that astronomical? No. Is that great? Yeah, of course. I used to make $29,000 in a year. The version of myself who made $29,000 in a year has absolutely no conceptual idea of the person that I would become who can take care of her in every single season of herself, regardless if she's losing her mind, regardless if she's finding her soul. I get to do whatever the fuck I want and not make such a big deal about it. And instead, I can just appreciate it and drink my tea and spend time with you and be together and go to amazing women's gatherings and love myself and love the earth, like really just do the things that we've always done and just let that be enough and appreciate the fucking hell out of it. And of course, it's like, as an ambitious person, you're always entertaining the future. And I'm not saying to not entertain the future, but what can you put down that is part of someone else's future that actually isn't yours? It's like I feel like I'm putting down so many different parts that I've picked up along the way that I was so inspired by, but were actually other people's ways. And I know that my way is not going to be their way now. It feels more visceral in my field of just like, oh, I'm actually just supposed to like put that down, you know? And maybe I will garner the level of success or more that these people who I'm inspired by have built relationship with. But I know that I think that it's gonna just be different. Like everything in my life is so different from every person that I know. And so business, ascension journey, transformation, bitter medicine, it's all going to be very unique and applicable for my specific journey as well. And I'm so curious. That's a problem too. I feel like I'm just so curious constantly, and I don't really get or give myself the opportunity to appreciate where I'm at because I'm trying to figure it out because I'm so insatiably curious. Just tell me what it is. But this impatience is really just a lack of safety. And so move closer to it. Be that safe lighthouse in a storm for yourself. Nourish your body. Go for the walk on the beach. Put a grasshopper on your head and let it climb up your fucking neck. Do your hair at 12 p.m. or 12 a.m. and get on YouTube and deliver some tea because life is but a psychedelic experiment. Minutes. Do whatever the fuck you want. Ah, so grateful. Everything is changing. Everything is changing. Everything is always changing, obviously. But I'm so amazed by the change that is about to occur in my life. I have no idea what it is. And I don't even want to know. Like, I want to be so surprised. The flower essence that I'm taking right now, like, literally one of my intentions was just like divine surprise, miracle. Like, I just love being surprised. My sister hates being surprised. I'm like, what is wrong with you? But I feel like the more that you work on your capacity to trust, the more you absolutely love being surprised. And I have really strong Uranus placements too. And so the element of a surprise is just naturally very baked into my life. But wow, I cannot wait to be so surprised well, I guess I can wait because patience is integral to this process. Obviously, we just talked about that, but I'm so curious. I'm so excited. I can feel it. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but I'm looking forward to it. And the person who I am, who embodies whatever that is. And I'm grateful to not know yet, to just be this version of myself and love her, love the fuck out of her, and know that I have done everything possible to support myself at this current spot in my journey. I did a damn good job get myself out of all of the holes that life threw me in. I can't wait to like get naked and dance around the fire with a bunch of women. This women's gathering is going to change everything. Like I'm not trying to put any expectations on it because I just don't want to do that. Like, but I can't wait to show you like, oh, I'm gonna fucking record so many things. Well, maybe not. I'm gonna try to be as present as possible, but like I really want to like capture a lot of magic. I'm bringing a bunch of disposable cameras, but anyways, What's interesting about we're going to talk about this next week, obviously, but it's the first time I'm going someplace where like I don't have to think about the male gaze. Wow. Women talk about baked in. And and to be in a space where it's just sisterhood. There's no men, just women and in the sun, under the trees, on the earth, breathing together, creating together, singing together, drumming together, dancing together, tending the fire together. Like, whoa. Earlier today while I was gardening, I was overcome with emotion thinking about my mother, who I love so much. And my mom was adopted. And when my mom was 20 years old, she was like babysitting her niece, which is my older cousin. And my older cousin looked up through a crib, like the crib that she was in, at my mom, and my mom had this like download of like, I want to have children, actually. And so her and my father procreated and made me. And I was overcome by emotion because that is like the most brave thing in the world. Like to be a child of adoption and choose to bring life through your body and keep it and have the responsibility of like being responsible for that life that you bring through you. I mean, she walked so I could run, like, and like that's what all of our generations do for us. But we never really think about that, but like I'm like, Mom, that was like so brave to make that conscious choice to be like, and I want like kids, obviously, like I don't even have to think about it because my mom was like, no, I want kids. And she like laid that groundwork for me, even after being given away, even after being raised by two people who never understood her and never really gave her the unconditional love that she deserves as a child, or even as an adult ever. They just, it wasn't baked into them either because they were abused. And so they abused and the cycle of abuse just continues and continues. And that's how trauma and epigenetics and all that other shit is fucking created. But I'm fascinated by the fact that she made that extremely courageous choice. And now I'm doing things that are extremely courageous. Okay, I'm going to live closer to life in a way that is deeply healing to the earth and deeply healing to women in general. Like my mom would have never gone to like this type of thing when she was younger. She didn't think that this was possible. I don't even know if these things existed in the 70s and 80s. Maybe they did. But the fact of the matter is I have the privilege, the honor, the blessing to lay this groundwork for my future generations. And so it's like, what are you doing that is going to lay that path energetically in their DNA that says this is safe? You can dance naked around the fire and sing and dance and howl at the moon along with other women and not be murdered for it. Nice. I'm pumped about that. Pumped. That trust, right? The compassion for self, the living close to life, the surrender. It's an actionable surrender. Okay, God, show me what to do and I'll do it. Fuck the how. Show me how. Okay. I will go do all these amazing things then. And thank you. I'm going to appreciate the living shit out of them. I'll never be this young, this hot ever again. Okay, my life is all whatever. I have this pressure in my head, lots is going on and whatever. Great. I'm grateful for it. I feel that something is happening. Something is happening. I'm so grateful already. Anyways, I love you all. I think this is good. It's 12:38 in the morning. I have to catch the 8 a.m. ferry, and I'm only like 60% packed for this insane weekend that I can't wait to tell you guys about next week. Love you. Bye.